Welcome back, subscribers. This is Johnny Hopper, and in today's video I'm going to show you a beginner tutorial on body positioning. It's also known as the tack position. Damn, fly racing makes some good looking gear, don't you guys agree? Alright, let's get into it. So I should have made this video a long time ago. It should have been the first tutorial that I made because it is the most basic tutorial when it comes to riding a motorcycle that a rider needs to know, because it'll help you prevent having bad habits moving forward. As far as cornering, jumping, starting, whatever it may be, you need to know what the basic standing position or just plain riding position for that matter on the motorcycle itself is. So just restarting the clip, from a seating position, you want to stand up and you want to get into a small squat. Yes, it's a pretty sick looking supermoto bike. I'm not using my bike because my bike was dirty and quite frankly I was just being lazy and I didn't want to wash it, and I still wanted to make this tutorial, so we're using the supermoto bike. So the number one thing I see people get wrong is people think that you ride a motorcycle with your arms. It's actually your legs. This isn't no bicycle. You're going to be squeezing the motorcycle 100% of the time while riding, because it is going to help us control the bike and help prevent arm pump and put us in a better position when we go over obstacles. And we want to always make sure that our torso, our chin, is relatively in line with that crossbar. Then we're simply going to scoot our butt back while keeping our knees tied up against the frame of the motorcycle. Then I'm gonna grab my handy dandy protractor. Yeah, I know, it's really hard to read. I couldn't find a good picture of a protractor on Google that was neon yellow. It's black, but anyway, it gets the job done. So the point I'm trying to get across is you don't have to be at 90 degrees in your squat. It's more rider preference. So anywhere between 110 degrees to 160, I think you will notice a difference in your riding. What I don't want to see is your knees in front of your toes. I see this mistake a lot with riders, and it puts unnecessary pressure on your quads. Just try sitting like that way for an extended period of time. I doubt you'd make it even 3 minutes. It's quite uncomfortable, and if it's uncomfortable, it's going to be uncomfortable while riding. Not to mention the motorcycle is not going to react the way you want it to. So pretty much the last thing I want to go over is your foot position. You don't want to be on your toes, you don't want to be on your balls, you want to be somewhere around your sole and your heel. And the reason for that is so that you can use your brake and your shifter while you're moving from braking, accelerating, being in this attack position, because we're going to be riding in that position 90% of the time. So just in a recap, we're going to 1, check our feet, 2, swing our hips back, making sure our knees are in that 110 to 160, not above the toes. Then we're going to give our elbows a slight drop so they're not totally extended. And finally, we're going to be looking ahead and making sure our chin is relatively in line with the crossbar. But I don't want you to be stiff as a board. I want you to be able to move on the motorcycle fluid. So when you're jumping, transitioning from braking to accelerating, or you have a different obstacle coming up, you will be able to move around the bike in a fluid manner. Because the ultimate goal is to move around the motorcycle, I would say, in a very seamless, pretty sort of a way. I always wanted to make sure that I looked pretty while being watched. I know that sounds, I don't know if that sounds gay or what, but I take very high pride in having good technique. So all these transitions should happen in a one-step process. Don't try to break these down into 1, 2, 3, 4. You might have to do that at the very beginning, but eventually you'll be able to do this in one fluid motion, transitioning from sitting down into a jumping scenario when you're jumping off a triple or going through whoops, because the more you can make this seamless, the better you're going to be at riding, because this right here, this attack position, is where you're going to spend the majority of your time on the motorcycle. Because quite frankly, you're in this position at some point while jumping, while landing, while braking. It's a good standard point that every rider should master before continuing to the next steps. So I apologize for not making this tutorial sooner, and I'm sorry for making a... I'm not sorry. I hope you guys get better at riding.